Rolling.
Good? Good. Welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this ribbon cutting presented by the Modesto Chamber of Commerce. We are here to not celebrate the grand opening of Toshi Hart Dentistry, but celebrate some new services and technology that they are here to provide us with in our community, which is very exciting. We'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. I'm joined here by Toshi Hart herself and her staff. I think they're made up of 6 fabulous, dedicated, hardworking team individuals that includes the triple A's. I don't know if we have April, Allison, and Anita here. Right on. But just to tell you a little bit about the company or what I've learned from Toshi is she has nearly 30 years of experience in dentistry that she is about to celebrate as a spectacular milestone. And as I mentioned before, we're not celebrating the grand opening. They've been here established since 2004. We are here to celebrate some new services that they're going to be providing us with. And we'd love to learn a little bit more about that before we get into a couple other things as far as certifications are concerned. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you have been doing and what you look to do in the very near future?
Okay, so I was invited basically to come to Modesto. My husband was raised here in Modesto, and I was doing some loan repayment. I established a community health clinic in Healdsburg as part of the Health and Human Services. I was a loan repayment recipient and established a dental clinic there. And from that, I got into a trade journal, one of our trade journals, CDA Update. And that journal was read by Dr. Balak Ben, who originally has his practice. And he's been my husband's dentist. He's been around in the community forever. And essentially, he asked me to come to Modesto. Of course, my mother-in-law was here, and I said, of course, yes. And so it's been a wonderful 20 years dealing with children. But it has been really quite frustrating because there are so many cavities in the valley. We have cavities, and these poor children, I often have to take them to Kaiser Hospital or put them completely sedated because they continue to get cavities and then more cavities, and the solution honestly is not fixing them. It is going to the root cause. So I came about this research a couple of years ago. I met Dr. Dave Singh, and it was because of this man right here. So this is Dr. Jack Holt. He is our TMD specialist. He is very well respected, just a giant. And we had lunch right over there at the Redwood Cafe. And I remember that day because he said, Toshi, just come have lunch. I need to tell you about something. And I said, oh my gosh, Jack, okay, I'll try. I've got so many kids, so many things that I'm doing. And he said, just have lunch. We were talking about some mutual patients. And he said, I want you to come take a look at this lecturer. His name is Dave Singh. And I thought, oh, Jack, I just couldn't possibly get away. It was in Las Vegas. And somehow, thank goodness I listened. So I got away for one night. It took one night. And I listened to a 45-minute lecture that essentially changed the way I practice. And Dave Singh is an orthodontist. He did research on the craniofacial complex, and he was able to prove that we can grow bone at any age, at any stage.
Wow.
And Jack said, Toshi, let me be your first patient. I thought, oh my goodness, I will try. I will do whatever you like, Jack. So he was my first patient, and he had some phenomenal success. If I may share your story, and I'll turn it over because I think he tells it the best, is that he basically had severe sleep apnea. So I'm going to just kind of give that to you and just tell us a little bit about your story.
I heard David sing about 5 or 6 years ago. I was to a couple of meetings. I was so impressed by him. I captured him after he spoke one day and said, can you treat patients as old as me? And he said, of course. And so then I was able to convince Toshi to take on me as her very first patient. And when I was diagnosed at Mayo Clinic, I had what they call an AHI, apnea index of 100. Anything over 30 is severe. So I've been on CPAP for 30 years. And when Shirley and I were down in Florida, I caught the COVID. And I'd already been under treatment with Toshi enough that I reduced it from 100 to 27. So I was able to stop using the CPAP long enough to get rid of the COVID and recover. So I kind of think it almost saved my life. So anyway.
And so that really inspired me to continue with this work. So the work is really important. It's about growing and stimulating the cells in our body that exist from birth. They're called stem cells, and we can grow them at any age and grow bone. And essentially, this is a non-surgical, non-pharmaceutical way to treat sleep apnea. And I can do this in very, very little kids with releasing their tongues with frenectomies. You can also do it by exercises, and I have a wonderful parent that actually listened to me, and she was able to grow her baby's jaw just by clicking. I say a lot of things, I do a lot of education, and it often surprises me when someone actually takes it home, and so that was wonderful. And so I can do this treatment in infants and children. So with children, the thing that bothered me the most was the cavities, so many cavities. And so with this technique, where we're able to grow the jaw and get the kids to nasal breathe, I proved that there was a reduction in cavities, and the reduction was not small. It was statistically significant to 76%. So fluoride at best is 40%. So 76% reduction in cavities just by closing your lips and breathing through your nose is huge. And there are simple techniques we can do. Part of it is myofunctional therapy, where you're basically closing your lips, getting your tongue to the roof of your mouth and breathing through your nose. And we could do other things like holding our breath a little bit to reduce the pH in our blood. So those are techniques you can use, and we educate. All my staff is trained on this. They're amazing, hardworking. And so we do this in, as I said, infants, children, adults, and at any age. I myself am a patient. So I had moderate sleep apnea, and my husband, who was just, I'm not sure where he is, but he was just here. He said, "Oh, Toshi, you're snoring. I have to go to the other room." And I thought, oh my gosh, this is terrible. And you hear these horror stories where these couples are separated by bedrooms. They have to get 2 separate hotel rooms because they're snoring so much. And that was me. So I put myself in a device. I was able to reduce my sleep apnea from moderate sleep apnea to, so my AHI, apnea hypopnea index, so that's the number of times you stop breathing per night for 10 seconds or more. 10 seconds or more was 17, and I reduced down to a 1. So it's pretty phenomenal. I think it's an amazing system. It is not the only system, and there are other ways to treat sleep apnea, which I also offer here, and they're called oral appliances. And those are devices that bring your jaw forward so that you can breathe better. You can use that in combination with CPAP. So I'm just super excited that you are all here. I'm very honored. I think these are the business leaders in the community, and I am excited that you can come take a look. I mean, we have masks here, I have goodies inside, and I have invested in the latest technology. So at my office, we have a CO2 laser. So a CO2 laser, you can stop me anytime because I can go for about an hour. A CO2 laser is a carbon dioxide laser. It is hospital grade. I was the first office in Modesto to have a CO2 laser. So I use the laser for infant frenectomies, for cavities, and for treating snoring. So I can actually, and I have lasered my own palate, these ladies are a testament, where I can get the collagen to shrink in my palate and thereby retracting, and you don't get that vibration, because as we age and get older, the tissues get lax. And so the idea is that we all want to be breathing through a garden hose, not a sippy straw. When we lay down, we have collapsibility, and that happens as we age. So when you collapse that airway, you snore, and then what happens further is you can have really serious consequences. Cardiovascular issues, high blood pressure, diabetes, neurological issues, dementia, and the list goes on and on and on. In fact, there's a book where almost every medical condition can be related to airway, because honestly, what is more important than breathing through your nose? Or breathing, for that matter. Almost nothing, right? And sleeping well. So the idea of sleeping well, breathing well, and I'm just very excited to enter into this new chapter. I will still be taking care of the kids, although I think more and more we're going to have our hands full with airway for adults and treating, you know, that population. So I want to introduce my fabulous staff. These ladies, team members. These ladies have been through me thick and thin. So Teresa, they're kind of, she's been with me for 17 years. And right-hand gal in the back. And Patty, my office manager here, has been with me for 13 years. And Kayla has been with me for 6 years. And then the triple threat, triple A, for about a year. And you know, when we all had that terrible year last year, we were able, because of our treatment with the laser, which basically is virucidal and bactericidal, we ramped up. We had really no downtime. The only downtime we had is when we caught up a year later, and we're kind of like, oh, we kind of caught up, and so we had a little bit of relaxation. But these ladies have been with me through thick and thin. They're so hardworking. Got the office back in order. There is an air scrubber in my office, so with a mask, basically the air is disinfected continuously. And the other thing that I want you to realize is in the table there, I have a lot of literature, and the best mask you can ever have is your nose. So your nose filters, humidifies, and warms the air. Your nose will filter the COVID virus if you just breathe through your nose. So that's really the trick. There's 2 articles in there. It's nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is what's produced in the nasal cavity, and that's what we all need and want. So I think I better stop.
So thank you so much for the background and the history. Any questions real quick?
Amazing. I have a question.
Yeah.
So do you diagnose sleep apnea?
So I do not, as a dentist. I can give, what we have here are home sleep tests. And they're pretty easy. I have most of my friends take a home sleep test. So I call them and I say, hey, take a home sleep test. And it's a little ring. It gives you a printout of how many times you have apneic events, and that must be read by Sleep MD. And then you get a diagnosis, and then he gives you choices, whether it's a CPAP, an oral appliances, which is where I come into play. And basically, as dentists, we are the gatekeepers of the airway. That's really it. And I'm super excited to integrate with the medical community to help solve this issue, because many of us suffer. Actually, there are 1 billion people in the world that suffer from sleep apnea, and 80% of them are undiagnosed. It's a very slow process, you know, our bodies compensate, so there's a lot to learn about sleep apnea and sleep disordered breathing.
Excellent, thank you. So I'm sure that many of us would appreciate a tour, myself included, but before we get to that point, we would like to present you with a couple certificates. I have the first 2. Unfortunately, Senator Borges,
Oh, wow.
there you go,
Oh, my gosh.
and Congressman Josh Hart were unable to make it this afternoon, but they did send some certificates for you for keepsakes there.
Wow.
And then we also have a few other dignitaries that I'd like to come up and give them the opportunity to say a few words and also present you with their certificates.
Okay. Thank you.
And then we'll get to
Toshi,
Michael,
the
will you
chambers.
guys just stand
Stand together,
for a
picture?
picture?
Yes.
Yes.
there you go.
Good.
1, 2, 3.
Nice.
Thank you.
So we have Supervisor Manny Graywall.
Hi, my name is Nick DeCruzley, and I'm a field representative for the Board of Supervisors on behalf of Manny Braywall and Terry Withrow, who's district you're in. We just want to thank you so much for not only being a doctor in the Valley, which is a tough job as it is, but spearheading and looking for new technology and bringing the best to the residents of Stanislaus County. We truly appreciate it, and we're looking to bring more people like you into this area. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, of course.
Next, we have Councilmember Rosa Escucha Broughton, who you know.
Well, Dr. Hart, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm just so delighted with your success and that of your staff. We're very fortunate to have you and your business here in the heart of Modesto. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I have a massage.
There you go.
But still, thank you for the good work you do. As you know, Dr. Hart has been instrumental in the role of the well-being in dentistry with my children, and it's just amazing. And she was making reference to my 5-year-old, who I brought him since 1, and to even before. Did he have teeth at 1? I forgot.
He had a few.
He had a little bit, but she advised what to do and how to best preserve the growth of his teeth coming in, and how to prevent any issues he might have growing up. And I took them all to heart, no pun intended. But and one of them was soup. So click, the more he did that as an infant, the more likely
You grow your jaw, so that our tongue should be resting at the roof of the mouth.
and that minimizes his sleep issues. I even at his little age, I noticed that he would sleep with the little mouth open. But so that it all really weighed into him sleeping better. If he sleeps better, wakes up a happy camper, mama's life is better. So all around, everyone really benefited from him as well. My husband, Dr. Paul Brayton, is her biggest cheerleader, and I believe Dr. Holt might have shared with him. He's the one that really mentioned the good work you're doing, and so my husband's a big fan of Dr. Hart and the good work she's doing. But all that said, again, thank you for the work you do for my family and for the community, and I wish you many more successes. And on behalf of the City of Modesto, I'd like to present you with a certificate.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Almost.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, so next up we have a board member of the Modesto Chamber of Commerce, Peggy O'Donnell, to present you with a certificate as well. And we have another board member, Bill Robinson, to present you with a plaque from the Modesto Chamber of Commerce. Unfortunately, Trish Christensen, our CEO, could not make it today. But these two very generous board members are with us today, and they're here to present you with it. Absolutely. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I'm so glad you're part of the team.
Thank you.
Wonderful. I'll squeeze them over
Thank you.
photo.
You bet. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Any final thoughts or closing comments before we move on to cutting the ribbon?
So as I mentioned, I teach this nationally. It's not just me who is a Vivos provider. There are 6 of us in the Valley, 7 of us in the Valley, and the number is growing. These enlightened dentists that realize the connection between the medical community and the dental community and how we can really help everyone.
Fantastic.
Okay, so for the photo, if we could just get everyone to stand behind their team in the back archway, then we'll get a couple photos of you guys.
Just sort of.
And then if you guys want to stand
Just
inside
slip the
the
ribbon
car
through,
out.
and then it'll be a nice photograph.
Okay.
And then I think she'll ask everyone else who wants a picture. Yeah, right? You doing everyone or staff first?
I'll bring you everyone first.
Okay.
And then staff members. Oh, I got you. Oh, Mark. You want to stand behind the
Eric, how are you?
You guys
Good.
gather around nice and close to us.
I haven't seen Eric in forever. Back up a little.
I think she's gonna be really upset if you don't get in there with her. You want to hold that? You want me to hold that and take a few?
Yeah, please.
I think you should get in there with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mama.
Yep.
Thank you, Jamie.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Thank you.
We're gonna wait for mother and father to get in for just a second here.
Okay, so
Wait just a minute.
is this gal?
Yep.
Hi.
They'll all
The
scoot.
guy. Right.
If somebody could stand right here, and everybody else to the left of that person, I can't get anything to the right. Everybody this way, good.
Oh, super.
Where the microphone? I don't know. You guys you want to take a picture? Just for the picture?
All right. Super.
Beautiful.
Good.
Where are we looking?
Let's look at Jaime first.
Here.
Great question. Perfect. And then over here, adjust. Okay. 3, 2, 1, smile. Bring it on this way. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful.
And I'll snap them over here.
1, 2, 3.
You guys are all famous now. Thank you guys.
I get the
I don't know. Do you know how to work this? Well, that's what it was doing, but. Oh boy. Let's try this one more time. 1, 2, 3 with. Okay. Good.
Beautiful. Okay, so everyone please go ahead and head inside.
Whose phone is
The
that?
team has provided some
Her
wonderful
father's.
snacks and pamphlets, so if you guys can just all
Thank
You
you
know,
very much.
I noticed about the back of the phone. You have a plastic cover with your card and your ID in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like that idea.
They,
It's all with you because you carry your phone everywhere you go, right?
they ask me this every time I go to
Right.
my gym and everything. You know, hey, you do. You
Right on. Good. That's a good idea. I like that idea. Whoa.
Okay, why not? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for
You out of here? Okay. Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. If you guys just want to do just the two of you.
You'll give me this copy?
Oh, okay. Good.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Over here.
It's okay. I'll send you mine, Jaime.
Okay.
And then did you want one shoe in your teeth? Yes.
Could you please so kind to send me?
Yes, absolutely. But it'll be tomorrow.
Whenever.
I know, it's a little hard.
Okay, this is staff only.
I think we're missing 2 years here.
right in here. The way through.
I like the music.
That's my dad.
Oh, really?
He's a musician.
Oh, I love that. Okay, perfect.
Everybody in?
We missing one?
Yeah, we are.
Do you want me to go stick my head in and yell for Teresa?
We just did that.
Go find her?
Yes. Of course it's Teresa.
Sorry, I had to run to the bathroom.
Okay.
She was given a tour. She's coming.
There you go.
I thought we were done.
Sorry, just one last team shot.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody in close?
Okay, come in on close.
We in close? There we go.
I
Alrighty.
can't see you in the back. You want to come to the front a little bit?
Right. If you can't see the camera can't see you.
No kissy, sorry.
Remember, you can see the camera.
Okay, I'm gonna get one first, Jaime.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a great shot here. Cheese. Do one this way for you guys. Beautiful. And then if you want to look an angle towards him.
Over here. Okay, ready and thank you.
Then one more. Okay. All right. You guys. 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. We won't bug you for a photo anymore.
Okay.
Congratulations. Thank you.
We'll see you, Papa. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, very good.
So if he has molars in the back, it's hard
Thanks, sir.
for you
We'll
to
see
get
you.
your fingers in there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing, Kathleen? Good. Yeah, she told me right before I left. She's like, oh, poor me. She's like, on purpose. And she's like, it's Sunday.
They scheduled a coach.
Oh yeah, no, she was
Yes, at 6 o'clock once again.
Like I told her, get to the knee. Everything comes in time. You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah, they rescheduled everything.
Decided we wanted to convert.
Sleep test done.
I think I for sure know what you're doing. That's for sure. There it is.
So that's my airway. Just want to start it. And this is taking in. We just do that. And then you'll get a sleep test. We'll do a head and neck exam, a CT scan, and then she'll talk to you about what's, because everybody's different.
I'm good. How are you?
What is the best for
Here at the chamber, and I work
Yeah.
for
and everything, and then if they want to go into movies,
I
which is
am
primarily what we do, and then oral appointments.
You're gonna use it for charge. She like loosens
So what do you do?
So I wear that, and I have to be honest.